I mean, he knew how to frighten people. It was his business to be formidable. He had been a bodyguard prior to being in the film. The truth is that he had a heart of gold. He was the nicest individual, extremely bright, and nothing like this character who he chose to be in his life.
Hey, fool, you ready for another beating? You should have never came back.
Without a great antagonist, the great protagonist can never be discovered. You have to go up against something that's going to test your mettle. You have to go up against something that's going to put obstacles in your way that ultimately will define what kind of character, what kind of heart, what kind of soul you have in order to define you at any point in your life.
Dolph Lundgren represented this indomitable enemy that we didn't understand, and he represented everything we feared about the Soviet Union. If, God forbid, there ever had been a conflict, this is what we would have had to face, and we didn't want to. None of us wanted to get close to this kind of a person.
Bring it on! Look, I don't want to hear anything about it. Just let that chump go.
Stallone was very smart. It was in the 80s, and he wanted to create the greatest villain, and he thought of a Russian Olympic champion, unbeatable machine. I realized that all the other previous opponents had been very loud and very kind of animated, and so I decided to make the guy very stoic, not move too much, and just kind of just be there, and just by your presence, just being intimidating, and that kind of worked. I must break you. He made sure there wasn't too much dialogue. He made sure there were a lot of big close-ups, a lot of big stuff on the eyes, and he created a very mysterious, powerful character. It's a classic sort of recipe for to entice interest in a tough guy character, and that's a big enough obstacle to the main character.
Pounding away at the midsection of the Russian, and he's just hit him with everything he's got. And Drago just smiled at him.
I think Ivan Drago as a character was in one way sympathetic. Even though he was the bad guy, you know, after the movie, people will kind of look at you like an athlete who was working for the evil empire, and it wasn't really your fault. And so I think even Drago had his sort of mythological story there, an arc to some extent. And I think that was a great, nice thing of Sly to give to me and to the character.
Sylvester's strength was soul. In a way, other than Apollo Creed, they lacked that quality, I think, to some extent. They were fighters. They were gladiators. And to see this individual quality that was so far beyond who Rocky was.
Whoa! Hey, hey! Okay, hey, kid. Hey, right now, that's it. Time up. That's it.
Smell that, Rocco?
What's that?
The odor of opportunity.
Hey, that's it. What did I tell you? Hey, time!
In '89, I had a number of fights on ESPN, and it was then that Frank Stallone, who's Sly's brother, saw me fighting on TV, and he knew that his brother was wanting to find a villain of some sort. You know, at 19 years old, I didn't look like a villain, but they turned me into one.
Tommy Morrison was literally the new kid on the block. Tommy Morrison, we were seeking something very different. He was the apprentice, and he caught those qualities. It was wonderful. He was brilliant, I think, in the part.
Look, Rock, you don't know me. But anything you want me to do, I'll do. And if I can't, I'll bust my butt trying. Man, I'm not hustling you, man. All I'm asking for is a chance. And just one shot.
He was vulnerable and yet ambitious. And there was just a germ, a seed, you might say, of what was going to follow, which was the betrayal.
Man, the way I'm going, I'm not going to get a shot at the title for a long time. Man, I've got a perfect record. I'm 22-0. Where's the money? Where? Man, we haven't made any serious money yet, and we won't without the man.
I ain't talking about the money. Look, the money is gonna be there, but I'm talking about your rep, Tommy.
Tommy Gunn was dealing not only with the slimy side of the sport, but he was dealing with the enemy within himself. I was lured away from Rocky by money, you know, by corruption, by someone promising me the world, and in the end not producing.
Man, I'm as good as Balboa was. I don't give a damn what they say, and I'm tired of being called a damn robot, too.
That inner demon started coming out physical, and I started going after and wanting to fight and wanting to hurt the guy that made me who I was. You know, and I think that's what made Tommy Gunn a good character, a good villain.
Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Get off. Get him out of here. Get him out of here, brother. Tommy. Get off me.
You knocked him down. Why don't you try knocking me down now?
The one thing that surprised everybody was us fighting in the street. You know, I don't think anybody expected that.
You want my respect.
Well, come and get it. Come on,
And I still think that we need to fight in the ring. Well, Sly helped me grow up a lot, and it was a great honor to be around those people.
Well, Rocky was everything for me. It was my shot. It was creating a career and a life for myself. It's, you know, it's been wonderful, and I have Stallone to thank for it, and the business. I'm eternally grateful for the opportunity, really.
I've come to believe that everybody is tested ultimately, and some of us have the strength, the stamina, the wherewithal, you know, are in touch with things that are beyond us, that we can never imagine or understand, that we simply hook onto and take the ride with. And through fear, through trepidation, through mistakes, through all that stuff, we come through it. And yeah, we have the bruises and the scars and all that sort of stuff, but in spite of that, we heal, we get up, and we go back at it again. And that in its own way defined Rocky.
Their yearnings, their hopes, their ambitions, their lack of ambitions, their insecurities are totally universal. Ultimately, we were looking for archetypes in the Rocky opponents. It's a classic Joseph Campbell hero. It's a classic mythological hero. And each of these people, in their own way, offered that kind of example.